Hey everybody, I'm Steph.
I'm Michael
Today we're checking out Salon de Paris.
from Talon Strike Studios. And this is currently on Kickstarter.
That's right.
So you know what I'm going to say. Don't wait, or it's
Or
going to be
too
too late.
That's right.
Go ahead and back it now.
Yes.
Because you know what you're going to do. You're going to forget. Go ahead and back it now. So Salon de Paris, it plays 2 to 4 players and plays, according to the current box time,
Yeah.
it says 60 to 90 minutes. Now we have a very prototype version here provided by Talon Strike Studios, but they didn't give us this prototype in exchange for this video. They gave it to us because they know we like to play all the games.
That's right. And yeah, so what you see isn't the final graphics, but if you go and check out the Kickstarter, it'll have more updated graphics and all that.
Yeah, especially if you check out the rule book, it's got all of the iconography the way that it is supposed to look. The game board as we have it now is perfectly playable, but you might notice that things are not quite in the same location as they are in the final copy. However, if you're watching this video years from now, you'll still probably be able to figure out where we've put everything.
Absolutely.
So, let's go ahead and take a look at this while I teach you all the rules. So, we actually have part of the game board covered up to save space. In a 2-player game, you're going to take out some of these canvases and you're going to place them in the lines here that we've covered up on the game board. As you'll notice here, we've got 2 more columns for more paintings to be hung, as well as spots for these canvases that I've placed over to the side of the board in order to maximize our available space here. So since we don't need these 2 columns, I've just moved all of these canvases off and we're going to use this part of the game board because we're going to hang all of our paintings here in this salon. So, you're going to start off with each of your player pieces at the Arc de Triomphe. You're going to put painting tiles on all of the streets here. Each player is going to start off with 2 starter cards, and each player is going to choose one and take whatever bonus is shown on those starter cards. You're going to place, you'll notice that there are little spots underneath all of these tokens. You're going to place 1 token in each of these spots in the salon. Notice there are no tokens on the number 5 row. For those of you who are art aficionados, you know where you want your paintings hung. You want your paintings hung in a gallery right at eye level. You don't want to be the one up really high or off in the corner where people are not going to immediately see it as you walk into a salon. You want to have your paintings hung at eye level.
I think it's called line of sight.
I'm not sure.
So,
but that is the line where you want to try to get your paintings, is right there on that center line. So, excuse me. I'm about to sneeze a little bit. All right, I think it's passed. I was wrong. Excuse me. So, each player has a certain amount of favor with the salon committee. We've also placed a cube at the bottom of each of these tracks. And we have placed these apprentice bonus tokens, 1 in each location. Now, these locations are going to change a little bit with the new version of the board. However, they're approximately in the right locations. This one attached to the cafe, this one to the studio, this one with the academy, etc., etc. So, let me move forward into the rules here a little bit. Make sure I don't forget anything. Each player will take a sketchbook. I've already got some sketches in my sketchbook, but that's because of my starter card and because the first player is going to get one of these sketches at random from the bag. The bag that we have is one of our own, but you will get a draw bag in the game. And since I'm the second player, I'm going to start off with two at random. Player 3 will have 3, player 4 will have 4. You'll also put these little tokens onto these spots over to the side. These are basically your signature tokens, and every time you create a piece of art, you're going to take your signature token and place it on your artwork, thereby signing it, and that's going to open up one of these bonus slots for you to place these Academy cards in. Um, so there are 3 steps to a player's turn. And so the first player, who is Steph, she's going to take all of her, she's going to take all 3 of those steps, and then it will be my turn. So on Steph's turn, she's going to move her artist meeple to an unoccupied action space at a new location. Now, that doesn't mean an unoccupied space. It's an unoccupied or unoccupied location. It's an unoccupied space at that location. So if Steph were to move over here to the art dealership, she can do so. And then she's going to take painting tiles based on what it says on the space she has chosen. Whenever you're taking painting tiles, you're going to take it from the streets over which you traverse. For example, if Steph had started at the Salon committee and she's moving to the art dealership, she's moving on this street and then this street, and then choosing one of these locations. If Steph chooses this location, then this action space, then she's going to get a really good action, but no painting tiles. If she chooses this spot, she's going to get 3 painting tiles, but a weaker action. Well, let's say that she takes this one, which she's going to get 1 painting tile and this corresponding action. She can take her 1 painting tile from anywhere on these 2 streets over which she has traveled. And then after she's resolved the action that is on her spot, her turn is over. If there are multiple icons on the spot, she can take those in any order that she wants. So let's say on my turn, I also want to go to the art dealership. That's perfectly all right. However, I cannot place my meeple on the exact same location action space where Steph is. So I could go to the 3 painting tile spot, the 2 painting tile spot, or the 0 painting tile spot, but I cannot go exactly where Steph is. So let's talk a little bit about these steps in detail. Whenever you move from location to location, adjacent locations are free. For example, if Steph is in the Salon committee, she could move either to the art dealership or to the market for free. She cannot stay at the Salon committee. Yeah, you can't stay at a location over and over and over and just swap action spaces back and forth. Can't do that. If you're moving out a little bit farther, 2 steps out, for example, from the Salon committee, you would be going either to the cafe or the academy, then you're going to have to discard 1 painting tile from your sketchbook. Basically, you are paying the omnibus driver in Paris, paying him to take you to a further away location, but you're a starving artist. What are you going to use to pay? You give him one of your sketches. That's how this works. But if you want to move 3 locations away, which is directly across from you, for example, if you're going from the Salon committee to the studio, you're going to have to pay 2 of your sketches because that's an awful long way.
Yep.
So, of course, your first move from the Arc de Triomphe is going to be free no matter where you're going because you're starting here at the center of the board. You will never be in the middle of the board ever again in the game. So, obviously, if all the spaces at a location are filled, for example, both of these spaces here are filled up with players, I can't go to the Salon committee at all. So that's important. After you've moved, you're going to take the painting tiles that are shown on the space you've chosen. Your sketchbook only has room for 10 painting tiles. Whenever you have a full sketchbook, you choose which tiles to keep and then which ones to discard. These spots down here are not spaces for painting tiles. These are for these smaller tiles here, and I will go over that in just a moment. At the end of your turn, if any of the streets are completely empty, then you're going to replenish just those streets, the ones that are empty, from the draw bag. Now, it's important to note, let's say I moved here and I take 2 of the tiles away. This isn't completely empty, so I'm not going to fill it up. So whenever I move to another location, if for some reason there are not enough painting tiles to take, let's say because Steph took 2 of these when she moved over here. Whoops, that's your person right there. Let's say I want to move over here to this 3 spot. I can go to the 3 spot even though there are not 3 to take. That's still completely valid for me to do.
You just take 2, or
you just take fewer. So then you're going to resolve your action at that city location. So let's take a look at some of these locations, starting with the market down here at the bottom. Here at the market, you are going to be able to get canvases. The iconography has changed a little bit on these, but it's still basically, you should be able to figure out what these are with this here. Notice that it has 2 canvases printed on the board, and there's a number 2 on it. What this means is you can take 1 or 2 canvases, and the sum total size of the canvases taken may not exceed 2. So you could take a pair of 1s. These are both 1-size canvases. You could take a single 2, and those are your options. There's also a spot for 2 canvases totaling no more than 3, 2 canvases totaling no more than 4, 2 canvases totaling no more than 5. So with the 5, you could take a size 4 and a size 1. You could take a 2 and a 3. You can take less than, but you can never take more than, obviously. Moving on, I ought to mention there are these apprentice tiles all around the board. If you move to a space with an apprentice tile, you may use 1 apprentice to trigger the location where you are. It's called an additional apprentice action. And so, for example, on this one, you can discard an apprentice to take 2 random painting tiles from the bag.
very good.
So apprentices, you basically use them up and get rid of them.
Yeah.
That's probably not a good way to treat your apprentices, but I don't know. I'm not an artist. So
In the 1800s.
Exactly. Now, notice there are 2 of them down here, Steph.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, so you could choose either one of those?
Yeah.
I can't remember. We do have talent strikes in the chat. Can you use both of these or only one of them? If you had 2 apprentices, could you actually use both of those? And I'll wait for them to answer that in the chat. Meanwhile, I will mention there's a spot for 3 apprentices on your sketchbook. You can hold no more than 3.
They're hard to get anyway.
Yes. Oh, and I should mention that with canvases, you can hold no more than 4 canvases at a time. And obviously, the supply of canvases is limited to their physical components. Note there's only 4 size 4 remaining in the pile after we have removed 2 of them for having a 2-player game. Similarly, there's only 4 size 1s. There are many more of the size 2 and 3. So, the studio is where you're going to go to paint your masterpieces. Notice that there's 1, 2, and 3 paintbrushes on this spot. That just basically means paint 1 time, 2 times, or 3 times. So you will take a one of your sketches from your sketchbook and place it on a canvas in your possession, or one or more canvases in your possession. So let's say I had a couple of these canvases already. Might have to find a creative way to put these so everyone can see them. But if I were to paint twice, I could paint on two different canvases, or I could paint on the same canvas. And I'm not limited to which ones that I place, though I'm probably going to want to place similar things, at least similar icons on one canvas. So it would probably be in my best interest to put both of these blue apples onto the same canvas. As soon as you have filled a canvas, for example, if I've filled this canvas like this, I'm going to take my topmost signature token. Boop, I've now signed this artwork. So,
Some of these will unlock bonuses as well when you
yeah,
sign a certain number of paintings.
yes. Once you have unlocked these spots, not only will you open up spots for Academy cards to be placed, you might also get apprentices or moving up on the favor track or moving up on one of these topmost tracks up in the art dealership. Let's put these back before I forget to do so. Um, So when notice that there are 3 extra signature tokens that are on your sketchbook during setup. These are only used if you have used the 6 on the right hand side of your sketchbook. Your supply is not limited to 9, so these are not component limited. If for some reason you use more than this, use any suitable alternative. Let's talk a little bit about the cafe. Um, we did not start off the socialite token, so I will just start it off right here. The cafe is where you're going to get these overpaint tiles. Notice all of these overpaint tiles have double icons on them. Whenever you move onto these spots, you're going to move the socialite, which is this little green token. You're going to move it 1, 2, or 3 spaces, or up to 3 spaces to move it around these cafe tables. Each of these cafe tables has an ability on it, and there are overpaint tiles in between these each pair of tables. So let's say I move to here. I can move the socialite 1 space, and then in any order, resolve the effect where you've ended up, and you're going to take one of these overpaint tiles that's adjacent to the socialite. And these other 2 spaces are similar. It's just that you can move up to 2 or up to 3 spaces. You're always going to move the socialite clockwise, not ever counterclockwise. Notice that these uh, cafe tables are double-sided, so you can randomize them at the start of the game, so you can change your playing experience. I always love randomness on tiles like that. It keeps games uh, to be relatively fresh with multiple plays. Your overpaint tiles are these spots down here are where you're going to place your overpaint tiles. You have room for exactly 3. If you ever exceed that number, you're going to have to discard down to 3. At the end of any player's turn, you're going to replenish anything that has been emptied out in the cafe um, until you've run out of overpaint tiles to place, in which case you just skip that step. At the Academy, you're going to give lectures that will earn you these powerful Academy cards and hire the apprentices that can be sent to do those bonus actions. The actions are as follows. Take 1 Academy card or remove both of the Academy cards in the display, refill, and then take an Academy card. The second one is hire 2 apprentices, and the third is to just take an Academy card and hire an apprentice if for some reason you like one of these down here. Remember, if you already have 3 apprentices, you cannot hire a 4th. An apprentice bonus action, as I mentioned before, can be used once per visit to a location. Um, so I'm assuming
Just you choose.
you can choose one of these.
Yeah.
Did not get a confirmation from Talon Strikes in the chat. So we assume that you can use one of these two.
Just get an option.
Yeah, you get one. Yeah. And you could, oh, there it is. The market has two. You can, no, it says you can do each of them once per visit, assuming you have two apprentices to send.
Oh, okay.
It's actually in a note at the top of the
So
page.
you can do both.
You
Great.
can do both. How about that? So the Academy cards, you'll notice that there is a fame value. The layout of the cards is going to change. This leftmost stripe is actually going to be going across the bottom. But you'll notice that there is a banner value here. This is called a fame value. So this card is going to get me 2 points at the end of the game. There's also a card number and a title, which currently is down here at the bottom. It's just going to be placed where the number is over to the far left, and is in smaller font than this. So, and then the effects they're going to be everywhere in the middle of the card. And so this one is actually this card is going to be called One Fewer Match, where you need one fewer match in order to place into the salon. I will talk about that here in a second. So the art dealership is where you can go to schmooze with the critics. The more you are liked by each critic, the more fame you're going to earn at the end of the game by fulfilling the requirements on their specific critic cards. Now, the layout of these critic cards is going to change, where you're not going to have the actual critic on the card anymore. You're just going to have the effect that that critic is looking for, and you're going to have the bonuses directly printed on the card and not on the board space itself. But basically, you're going to try to move up each of these three tracks. The yellow track is always going to look for some paintings of a certain color. This track will want certain icons on the artwork. And the last one is going to be the purple track is going to be some kind of interesting random. Is it always canvases?
Well, our first one
yes,
was too.
it is. Yes. So it might be canvases of a particular size. In this case, it's canvases of all sizes. Yep. You want to have a variety of them. Players can share spots. As soon as you get to a level on a track, you're going to immediately take that action. However, only one player can advance to the top space, and actually, instead of it being a top space with the new iconography, it's actually going to be placed on the card, which will become basically the top space of that track is going to reside on the card itself. The orange critic track has a lot of hang a painting actions. That's how you get your paintings hung into the salon. The middle track has a lot of spots where you're going to hire apprentices for free, and you're going to earn favor with the purple track. The higher that you go on the track, the more points you're going to get at the end of the game for having paintings with those attributes. For example, if you move up only one space on this orange track, you're going to get 1 point for every pair of purple paintings that you have hung in the salon. If you make it to this next banner spot, you will get 2 points for each. If you make it up to right below the top, the very tip top, you're going to get 3 points for each pair of purple paintings.
And that's paintings with at least 2 swatches of purple, I
believe. That is an excellent question. Let's take a look at that. Each pair of the same, yes, you're correct. Each pair of the same color tiles inside a single painting. And those tiles may have any symbol. So you're going to want, I can't just have 2 of these purple tiles anywhere in the gallery. I need to have them both on the same canvas.
Right. But if you had like the square 2x2, you could have all 4 and that would count as 2 pairs.
Yes, you could have. You mean you could have 4 purple ones, and that would be 2 pair of purple
To
ones.
qualify for this.
To qualify twice for it,
For that,
right?
yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes. Gotcha.
Just to be clear. That's all.
Yes. And remember, only one player can occupy the final spot on those critic cards.
Every time you say that, I think credit card.
Critic
I know.
cards.
I just hear it.
So the Salon Committee is where you're going to perform curator actions. And one of those actions, it will allow you to hang a painting. It will also let you improve finished paintings, because everyone knows once you've got a painting hung in a salon, they're going to let you come in and improve your. Well, that really doesn't happen. However, in this game, you can improve your paintings that are finished and hung up on the wall. You can trade them out with these overpaint tiles. So if you choose this top spot, it is to perform 1 curator action. The bottom spot is to perform 2 curator actions. So what are curator actions? Well, there are 5 different actions that you can take. Notice that one of them was covered up with this hang a painting tile. One of them is going to be covered up at all times during the game. Whenever you perform a curator action, you can always choose from the hang a painting action, because it's always going to be visible. It's the thing that's covering up everything else on the curator board. The other actions that you can take are to overpaint one of your paintings, to earn a favor on the favor track over here, to hire an apprentice, or, this is interesting, to move one painting belonging to any player, including your competition, horizontally 1 space. Not vertically. Vertically is going to change that sight line, but horizontally 1 space.
Without going over any other paintings.
Yes. Yeah, you can't overlap paintings. You can't jump paintings, things like that. So keep that in mind. And whenever you take one of these curator actions, if it was not the hang a painting action, you're going to move the hang a painting action over the top of that action. For example, if I were to take the curator action of gaining an apprentice, I'm going to move this over the top, and that makes gain a favor become available. So we've mentioned several times about hanging a painting. Let's talk a little bit about what that means, hanging a painting in the salon. So the icon, I believe it's a filled in square now instead of just a hollow square. But that icon will allow you to hang 1 painting, one of your finished paintings with your little signature on it, on the salon wall. The painting must be hung orthogonally adjacent to at least 1 other painting. Well, you might say, well, there's no paintings on the board right now. What am I supposed to do? There are 4 spots on the edges. Actually, there are 5 spots whenever you're playing with more players. But there are currently 4 spots available to myself and to Steph where we can hang adjacent. And they are of these colors, red and blue and yellow and green. We've removed out the purple one from our game. So the painting must make a number of color matches equal to the most valuable row in which it is hung. So if I wanted to take this finished painting and place it right here, that would be great. I could do that for no cost, because this is a cost 1, and I am next to the one right here. So, hey, that is fine. I can do that. If I were to place like this, the most valuable row on which my painting is placed is on the 2. And yes, you can turn this painting sideways like this. It doesn't matter the orientation of your icons. You can hang this however you want on the salon wall. Anyway, this is going to cost 2, but wait, I've only got 1 adjacent color match. This doesn't count. this does count right here. So how do I make up for that one more cost that I need to pay? Well, that's where I'm going to have to pay favor over on the favor track. You can hold a maximum of 5 favor at any one time, and you will need to spend one every time you need to place onto the board, but you don't have enough color matches to handle that placement. Now, let's say that I were here for some reason and Steph wanted to place something with a blue icon. For example, something like this. If she were to place this little one-piece tile, well, she could have gotten up to a 2 credit on this because this blue tile is adjacent to 2 different blue tiles on the board. So it just depends on where those tiles are placed on the board. If this were blue and this were red, and Steph's art had blue and red, she's going to get 1, 2, 3 matches. And so that is how you can work towards getting that prestigious 5 cost line.
Or you could simply just like.
That's what I mentioned, is that you can spend your favor for that to make up the difference.
Yep.
Obviously, you can't spend more favor than you have, and you cannot collect more than 5 favor at a time.
Yep. All that.
So, and obviously, whenever you choose this hang a painting action, you don't move the curator hang a painting tile at all. So, whenever you overpaint, you're going to place an overpaint tile from your sketchbook onto a painting tile on one of your paintings, not somebody else's, in the salon. Now, the overpaint tile must match the color of the painting tile on which it is placed. So if I had placed this artwork out here and I wanted to overpaint it, I could overpaint it with this double girl tile over the top of that. And it's basically going to negate that apple that I've got underneath. That's probably not very helpful to me, covering up something like that. But perhaps I had this in the gallery and I wanted to overpaint this. Well, that's even more girl symbols. That's what I want for more points. You're wanting to get as many. You're going to score points based on the most prevalent icon on that painting. I'll get into that a little bit more when I talk about end game scoring. So whenever you place a painting over the top of one of these bonus tiles, you're going to pick it up and get to use them. You're going to earn those bonuses immediately in the order of your choice, and these bonuses are optional. They are used immediately and then discarded away. You can't hold on to them for whenever you need them the most. So if for some reason I were at the top of the favor track and I were to get this, it would basically be wasted because I cannot hold any more favor, nor can I hold this tile in reserve. At the end of the game, the end of the game is going to be triggered when, at the end of any player's turn, there are fewer than, in a 2-player game, 5 spots left. We're not counting these up here. 5 spots left on the salon wall. With a 3-player game at 6, 4 players is 7. But whenever that occurs, you're going to finish the round and then play one final round till all players have taken an equal number of turns. And then you're going to go to scoring. Each painting is going to earn fame for its quality. So you're going to earn a fame per genre symbol of that painting's most numerous genre. So let's say that you've got a size 4 painting with 3 of these history symbols. It doesn't matter what color they are, and then whatever else. You're going to get 3 fame for this painting. Additionally, you're going to earn fame equal to its visibility, which is the highest value row on which it is hanging. So if I had this up in the corner, I'm only going to get 3 plus 2 points for this. for a total of 5 points. If I were to hang this more in the middle, I'm going to get 3 plus 5 points for a total of 8. That's really good. Try to put these back sort of in the right spots, hopefully. Random is random, right? So, you're also going to earn points for unhung but finished paintings. If you are able to finish one of your painting tiles but not get it into the salon, you're going to earn 1 fame for that painting, regardless of its size. Each of your Academy cards that you have in your sketchbook is going to earn you between 1 and 4 fame based on the number that is going to be in the bottom right side of the card. You're also going to score for your critic tracks based on what the critics are looking for. And you are going to earn curator's favor, however many points you have left over on the fame track, on the favor track, you're just going to earn that many points. Most fame wins in case of a tie. The player with the highest single scoring painting wins. And if still tied, whoever has the most paintings in the salon wins. And if still tied, share the victory.
Nice. That was good. In the rules, there are lots of references for all of the symbols and everything.
So if you're not sure of the iconography, there's everything that you need is in the back of the rule book that will explain each of the symbols, each of the cards, explain that iconography in detail. So.
Yep. Yeah, that was great rules, Michael.
Why, thank you.
So we will be right back with the full playthrough. So if you're watching this on YouTube after the fact, you can just go ahead and click on the link below that I'm going to attach to see
If
the
you're
playthrough.
already sold on the game, go check it out on Kickstarter right now. You know what to do. If you don't wait, or it's going to be too late. So
for those on Twitch right now, we will be right back.
Click the button for the playthrough.